Good morning, it is Coffee Talk. How are ya? I'm first morning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk on a Sunday morning. It is an absolutely stunning Sunday morning. Look outside live. There's our tower cam. We're looking out over the tourist district with some clouds off in the distance. Let's head over to downtown Orlando. Why are you not working all of a sudden? All right, Winter Park, you're looking beautiful. Let's head to the other downtown. Why are you not working? We've had so many lightning storms, I feel like half of our tower cams are down. Oh well, there's a shot. New Smyrna Beach tower cam, disappearing island, looking absolutely beautiful this morning. What else do we have here? Coco, yeah, you're looking good. All right, at least we have a few, right? Here's a look outside. Temperatures across town looking great. That up a little bit. Looking great. We're sitting at 80 degrees in Orlando. We're sitting at 75 DeLand, 75 degrees in Palm Coast, and 77 degrees in the Villages. So it is a beautiful, beautiful start to the day. Here's first warning live Doppler radar. I have been watching a few light showers off the shoreline here. Let me just lapse this, and you can kind of see as some of these showers kind of cropped up around Flagler Beach, right there over John Anderson Highway, kind of over A1A, lifting up to the north. What is that? Daytona Avenue, below Woods Circle, those areas, no big deal. It's going to be a great day though. If you've got plans to be out and about today, here you go. Starting off comfortably, we'll head to about 86 degrees by 11 o'clock. Yeah, 91, 1 o'clock. 93 degrees, our high temperature on the day. We're building to a 30% coverage of showers and storms. There's not going to be a ton of rain, but we are going to watch a little bit of rain here or there. So not a bad start to the day at all. It is truly, truly lovely. All right, let's talk about the forecast then. 93 in Orlando, 91 degrees in Leesburg, 90 degrees in Ocala, upper 80s to lower 90s back over to the area beaches. Here's a look at Futurecast. Through the day, you'll notice we're building those showers in, popcorning up the rains little by little. Then that works inland, 2 p.m. We've got a couple of popcorn showers. Notice 4 p.m. Futurecast trying to illustrate a little pocket of heavier rain in the metro, some lighter showers off to the east. Then we kind of start to invigorate things out west through 6 o'clock. And then by far and away, it's that west coast sea breeze that is active through sunset tonight. So that's what we're looking at if you're heading out to the attractions. And I'm just using this because this time of year, you get Mickey pumpkins. And I am obsessed with that. I have been since I first saw them. I love it. I love it. So there you go. A mix of clouds and sunshine. It's a beautiful setup. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup. I'm very happy that we get this gorgeous weather. That's going to continue for us. Clouds will be building through the day, 86 or so, 5 p.m. Yeah. So all said and done, those showers and those thunder showers are a part of our forecast today. If you're wanting to do the backyard swimming pool thing, obviously early in the day you're looking perfect. Through the day, honestly, pretty great. Rain chance is lowered, so it's definitely a good stretch of weather for you. It really is a good stretch of weather. Pat, good morning to you. April, good morning, good morning, good morning. Stephanie, how are you? So, all said and done, we're fine. Really and truly a nice forecast. Now, I do want to point out that while we are looking good today, rain chances these next couple of days are going to kind of stay in the same scenario. So here we go. First off, stormy weather is starting up, and I'll start this here. Stormy weather is really focused north of our area, okay? We're going to see some showers and storms, but in our western areas. Then the majority of the real stormy stuff starts to fade, and we just keep in our area these next couple of days with a 40% coverage of showers and storms, and mainly focusing that energy in our western areas. So the beaches are looking great. That's not just today either. It's for tomorrow. It's for the next couple of days. It is Labor Day weekend, though. So today, Sunday, tomorrow, Labor Day itself, get outside and enjoy. Seas and surf running like 1 to 2 feet. Water temperatures in the mid-range of the 80s for today. We're getting, at least in the beaches, into the mid to upper 80s. But any of the rains that develop, kind of fire up over I-95 and then move inland. So it really is a nice scenario for the beaches. All right. Jason says the kids were on the slip and slide all day yesterday. It was great weather for it in Palm Bay. 100%. 100% it was great weather. I love it. Kenneth, good morning. Marie, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Shauna, Debbie, Bob, how are you? David, is the rocket set to go Monday? No, it is not. So I'm studying, and I'll just kind of, briefly get into this. I'm working on graphics for our launch coverage, but why, among other things, why is it that there are such specific timelines for Artemis, right? All right, so there are 4 main criteria for Artemis launch windows, okay? First off, they're not, there's a lot of testing that needs to be done before Artemis can go back. But why is it that if they don't launch Monday or Tuesday, they have to wait several days until they can launch again, entering into window 26 and 27? That's nerd talk, but this was launch window 25 of Artemis. 26 and 27 are coming up. So why is it? There are 4 main criteria that go into timing out available days and windows within a launch, okay? The first thing, once it blasts off from the Kennedy Space Center, it has to perform what's called a TLI burn, a translunar insertion burn. And what that does is that blasts the rocket away from Earth and starts it off into deep space, okay? This is very important because you've got to make sure that you're on the right trajectory, AKA, is the moon going to be where you need it to be? There's only so much fuel. This is not the end-all second stage, okay? So they're kind of running on a lower powered second stage for this. But you've got to make sure when you're heading into deep space, as fast as a bullet from a gun or even faster, you got to make sure that when you get there, the moon shows up, okay? This is all super nerd calculations, but you got to make sure that the moon's there. So that's number 1. There's only so much fuel available, and you've got to be able to get into the correct orbit around the moon to perform the next piece of the mission, which is the distant retrograde orbit, okay? You've got to, while in that, remember, the Earth is rotating around the sun, the moon is rotating around the Earth. So not only do you have to get the correct spotting on the moon, but you also have to ensure that there's only 90 minutes or less of darkness. There's going to be these constant eclipses for the Orion spacecraft. So you've got to make sure you get into the correct positioning so that you have 90 minutes or less of darkness, okay? That's only 2. There's more. Then once you blast back off from the moon itself and you start approaching planet Earth, you've got to get into the correct trajectory to do what's called a skip entry, to where the Orion capsule is essentially skipping along the Earth's atmosphere, slowing it down, slowing it down, slowing it down. It's a technique to use the actual atmosphere itself to slow it down, and that actually brings loads down on astronauts. Now, there are no astronauts on Artemis 1, but this is a test mission, so you have to test all of this. And then number 4, you make sure that the timing is such so that splashdown occurs in daylight hours in the Pacific. If this sounds like super nerd stuff, it is. But everything with space is super nerd stuff. And all I hope is that I help to break this down for you in somewhat of simple terms. So anyway, no to Monday, no to Tuesday. There's a bit of a gap, and then we've got to do that whole other stuff. Launch window 26 or 27. We'll see how that plays out. Taylor says that's why we're here. Thank you. I try to break it down as best I can for you. Fun fact, by the way, this planet Earth that you're seeing does have live imagery, and there is Earl. There is Danielle. Shall we look at, like, I tried to make it look all fancy, but like there's Earl and there's Danielle. Shall we look and see what's doing in the tropics? Since it's there, let's do it. All right, first, here is Tropical Storm Earl, and it's firing up some decent convection at this hour. It really is. It's due north of like St. Croix. You can see, the Virgin Islands there. Really bubbling up some decent convection there. Let's switch over to the live radar coming in from the islands, and you can kind of see its overall motion. The worst of the weather is staying north of the islands, but if we come in even closer, you can see there have been squalls coming around, and I do think that Earl is trying to get a bit stronger, okay? If that continues to happen, then we may see some more feeder bands impacting our friends in the Caribbean islands. Here's a look at the forecast from the National Hurricane Center. Expected to recurve, expected to stay away from us, expected to pull away from the Caribbean islands. The computer forecast models in good agreement with that recurvature. You forgot one thing, Joanne says. The windows cannot exceed 25 days because of the batteries in the escape tower unless they get approval from the range director. Yes, yes. I guess I should mention that. You're right. When I was talking about those elements, though, yeah, I was just talking about the actual trajectory elements. I wasn't even talking about that. But yeah, Joanne, that's absolutely correct. I need to add that to the list of things. See, this is why you help me as much as hopefully I help you. So yeah. Helen's asking, why can't there be a night landing? Well, when you think about it, let's go back to that briefly, and then we'll come back to the tropics. When you think about space, certainly, the space shuttles did night landings. But when you think about this element, this is parachuting from space into the ocean, and then the capsule must be recovered. That means that Navy crews will be out there, and they're going to have to go and rescue astronauts. Now, in this case, there are no actual astronauts. There are dummies on board. But this is a practice run. You don't go in the middle of the ocean landing a capsule and having crews going out there and grabbing it. So, yeah, daytime, yeah. You can launch at night. That's not a problem. Shuttle could land at night, but this is not a shuttle. This is a capsule. The Pacific, let me tell you something. Pacific is a dark place in the middle of the night. Pacific is it's a dark place. You've been on a cruise. The only lights that you see all the stars, right? But it's not like, it's not like there's street signs, street lights out there. So yeah, it's a dark place. All right, back to the tropics. The other system in the North Atlantic, Danielle. Let's get our bearings, okay? It's way out there. It's on the center of your screen. On the left, Bermuda. On the right, the Azores. You can see Halifax, Nova Scotia. You can see the northeastern United States. We'll zoom into it. It's been sitting over the same spot. It was a hurricane, weakened to tropical storm status. Now it's back to a hurricane. It's kind of upwelled a little bit. It will eventually lose its tropical characteristics, but it eventually kind of makes a hard right turn and works out north of the Azores toward like Spain and Portugal. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Helen says, thank you. SpaceX fairings land at night, and the booster lands at night as well. But that's a pin, that's a pin landing on a ship like the size of a football field in the middle of the ocean. This is not. This is a capsule parachuting down. And then as it's parachuting down, crews go out and grab them. So it's just different. All right, so there's Danielle out in the middle of nowhere, will not be an impact to us. In addition to all of that, there is also a little wave coming off the coast of Africa these next couple of days' time. It will, as it moves out, probably try to generate an area of low pressure. Hopefully, will recurve and stay out to sea. All right, any questions? Here's the list of names. I updated this, but I didn't. Hold on a second. Stand by. It occurred to me that I didn't fix the one element to this. All right. So we've got Danielle, we've got Earl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 named systems in the Atlantic Basin thus far this year. Next name on the list would be Fiona. That said, with 5 named storms, last year through today, we had 12 named storms. Average 5th named storm happens August 21st. Obviously for us, it happened in early September. So we are definitely running a little behind average in terms of that. But overall, look good. Look good out in the tropics, all right? Any questions, comments, concerns? Otherwise, it's a beautiful day in paradise. It is. Let's talk tropical models real fast. Let's go through this. Not seeing anything too concerning. Although, if I back this up, the GFS shows a beast of a Earl, like a 945 low, passing just off to the east of Bermuda there. Then just kind of hanging out where Danielle is, wow, that's wild. And then look at that, right around the mid-Atlantic, September 18th. That's an interesting little feature, huh? See that? That's interesting, GFS. Curious if the European picks up on any of that. Let's switch over and look at the European. European going a little haywire. European showing like a little frontal boundary there toward like September 19th. Let's look at the ensembles, GFS. Just checking. We're analyzing together. There's the Earl ensemble members, and you can see they're kind of all around Bermuda, nothing too crazy. Back behind that, some activity. Wait a minute, let's go back here. Some of those ensemble members are wanting to bring Earl back over toward like the mid. You see that? That's weird. That's interesting. Okay. And then toward the end there, interesting. All right, so that's the GFS being the GFS, just craziness. Let's go to the European. Now, notice the divergence of the path of Earl. Kind of interesting, right? The divergence of Earl showing that it's not set in stone there where it goes. It could be a little further to the east or a little further to the west. That's interesting there. And this is the European. Huh. Yeah, that is interesting. The European also showing more tropical activity there across the open Atlantic thereafter. This is not, you're not looking at like, 100 hurricanes or 100 tropical systems. This is 50 different models overlaid on top of it, but it gives you a good like litmus test of, what models are showing and that sort of thing. So that's where we use it. And it's one of those things we use on Coffee Talk. I would never show that on TV. I do trust that you guys and gals know that this is not 100 different tropical systems. But if there's one takeaway, it's that the ensemble models are trying to say that we're going to stay busy here these next couple of weeks. And by the way, here we are into September, the peak of hurricane season. And then before you know it, we're into October, establishing a new LRC cycle. And with that said, remember, we knew that this LRC cycle was going to be quiet. There's no guarantees that the new LRC is quiet. So looking at October, November, we could get very busy. We could also stay quiet. We don't know yet, but we'll wait and see. Using the BSR, I'll just mention it. I don't have it dialed up here, but using the BSR, I've looked around and I've seen some indications of what we just saw in the models. Nothing crazy, but we're definitely going to be monitoring that. All right. Any questions? Annie says yes. Let's keep the numbers down. I know, right? I don't like interesting spells trouble. Well, Amy, it's too early to tell. Models completely open with everything. So it's just a matter of watching to see how that plays out, right? What about the Bahamas? For now, Deborah, it looks fine. You know, some of the ensemble members are always all over the place, but you know, it just kind of shows that they're still developing stuff. And so these next few weeks, we are going to continue to watch things closely, right? Pam says, bite your tongue. Yes, yes. Victoria, what happened? Madden-Julian oscillation went into phase. We knew that would happen, and we knew that once it did, it would be active. Jennifer says, if this level of quiet continues, does that foreshadow anything for the winter? Remember, we're entering into a new cycle, and everything changes when the new cycle enters. Remember, we base heavily our hurricane season forecast, okay? We issue this in March. Every year we issue a hurricane season forecast, as everybody does, right? But how does it work? It's heavily dependent on a yearly pattern that sets up. And what it does is during the months of October and November, you watch and track a new pattern, and then it loops over and over again. So you find the major players in that window. So October and November, that is new. And so we have to observe it and then track it. And then that will go into our 2023 hurricane season forecasts. Woof. All right. When does the Florester cycle through again? I believe it's late September. Yeah, late September. And interestingly enough, okay, hold on a second. Interestingly enough, I did see, hold on. I did see on here, yeah, that's September 16th. That's like late September, early October. So I don't know, you see that area of low pressure there. I don't know, you know, that's an indicator on the BSR, but that's right when we start to transition to the new cycle. So it may be a little late for the Florester, but there is something like late September into early October that the BSR is indicating. So anyway, something to watch. All right, time to go do TV. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys and gals tomorrow morning for Coffee Talk at 8 a.m. Be the sunshine in someone else's day.